Hi, I'm Drew, a drag queen living in LA with my husband Curtis, my dog JB, and Christ the King in my heart.
I
What's he
I don't
doing in
think so.
there? Oh, that's true.
I'm Grant, and I live in Florida. Jealous, Drew, with my
Nope,
wife. Also jealous, Drew. My
a
four
little.
kids. More jealous, Drew.
No.
Two dogs, and I guess Jesus left my heart and went all the way to LA to stay in Drew's. It's
I had a
a
lot
lot
of
smaller
extra room.
space.
I had no one in there.
Now that's true. This week, I bring the stats back. People have been clamoring for stats. And
Yeah.
in those stats, I really, really take it to some of these small towns in America. Oh, you're getting it. You're getting it this week. We'll see if I call
Yeah.
out your town.
Yeah, he really lets you have it. If you only have one stoplight in your town, I would recommend listening with caution.
Caution.
Also,
And drive with
we do.
caution. You only have one stoplight.
Yeah, stop driving so fast. You look ridiculous. Also, we
Ridiculous.
do the
Where do you have to go?
sequel to Oops All Voicemails, and I'm gonna give you a little warning. There's more voicemails. Enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to Twinnuendo. I'm Drew, and I'm gay.
And I'm Grant, and I probably am not.
Yeah, listen, there's no promises in this world, just death and taxes.
Brother, how are you?
Yeah.
How art thou?
Can I
How
be
art
honest
thou?
with you? Can I be
Yeah.
like can
I
we
wish you would.
pull the curtain? Pull behind, go see behind the curtain
Yeah.
on such as. Okay, so I was supposed to film tonight for IMHO, a YouTube show. I don't know if you've heard of it that I do sometimes with a coworker. She calls herself friend. I say coworker. She's not feeling well. She's feeling ill, in fact, and not in like a cool
Are her
way.
nipples infected? Did her pepperoni nipples get infected again?
Listen, I love that you're feeling more comfortable around Alexis, but you do not get to comment on her nipples unless you've been a victim of them yourself.
You
That
told
is
me
for
the story, and I can't stop thinking about it. So,
Oh
in a
yeah, I guess
way,
you are a victim in a way.
thank you.
No, she has
Everyone
gorgeous
listening to
nipples.
this
I want it on
is.
record. She has gorgeous nipples.
Well,
Anyway,
then I want to see them.
so I texted you and I says this is what
You
I says to my
says,
brother. I says, hey, I had to move filming to tomorrow. Would you mind suddenly jumping on and doing a twin
well, you said,
window?
hey, this is Drew. That's what because you always start with that
Well,
because
I never know what phone you're using.
yeah,
You're
I've got
constantly
tons of
going through
burners.
them. Yeah,
Tons of
so
burners.
I always have to remind you. And I say the gay one, because that's kind of her whole bit.
That's
But
true.
yeah, I don't know. You know what it is? Can I tell you? It's okay, moving to California.
Okay.
We're back, moving to California, and you live in Florida, and we live in sunny places. Well, yours isn't as
Yes.
sunny because you get a lot of rain, and we've only rained twice this year. But seasonal affective disorder can still affect you in the sunniest place on earth. Because now
How?
it gets dark at like 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
like
agree.
it's something I thought would be completely. I thought I moved to California and it'll be fine. But this morning I'm on the roof. I cleaned. I was so busy. And then suddenly I'm just sad. And I was like, what's going on? I look outside. It's dark. It's 5 p.m. So I have to say, I had a good day. I did a lot of work. I was very productive. But as soon as the
Not
sun
for the
set,
podcast. It was just like like they're gonna see you put nothing into this. But yeah, you worked harder on your roof. Yeah, go ahead.
okay, there's wind, okay, and it blows and it gets on and stuff comes to the roof, and you have to get it off the roof.
You have to get it off. You have to.
And I emptied the dishwasher, not to brag, but anyway, yeah. So I was just feeling a little down, but I have to say, as soon as I turned this on and I saw your face,
You're supposed to say something like a positive thing. Like you're supposed to be like,
oh,
I
I
felt
think they got
better.
it. I think they understood
think
what
it-
I meant.
Okay. Well,
How are you?
here in Florida, I don't know, a few years ago or something,
The
they
sun
were
never
talking about
sets.
yes. They're talking about the Florida legislature doing what Arizona did, which was just like, we're not going to do daylight
savings.
savings anymore. I was so excited about it, and I don't know what happened to it. I'm assuming that the Biden crime family probably stole it away, buried it right next to Hunter's laptop.
So true.
Trump, if you're listening, and I know you are, I know you've got a lot to do. You've got to dismantle
Thank you for being a patron.
healthcare. Thank you for being a patron. Somehow we end up paying him. I don't know how. He
And
keeps
you're
getting
so
refunds.
funny. I think you're
You're
so
very
funny.
Listen, I know you got a lot to do. You got to dismantle our healthcare. It's a lot of work to be in control of women's bodies.
You should know. You were a
I don't
pastor.
I don't want to like just brush that off. But if you can make it sunnier here, you play golf here. You want more sun, don't you?
Oh yeah,
Sun it
technically,
up.
isn't he a resident of Florida now, technically, or is he still New York?
I thought
Wait,
it
why
was
did I ask
Florida.
that question? I don't care. I don't fucking
I think
care. Why
Mar-a-Lago
did
is
I
like
ask
his like
that?
primary residence.
Yeah, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
you did a lot of campaigning for the man.
I
Close
think
to me.
he's funny.
Okay, so Drew, I haven't in a while looked
Mm-hmm.
at the statistics around our podcast.
Oh yeah, I
And
forgot you're really into the statistics.
you know that I like it. I don't know if YouTube has a ton of statistics we could look at specifically by like the Twinnuendo playlist because we're just a bastardized little playlist on the giant successful back of IMHO, the show.
Thank
So
you.
I don't know if we can get those statistics, but I can get the statistics for the people who listen to our audio. So that's what I was looking at. Drew, I'm less interested about it because we're not getting paid a dime from anyone who listens via audio. Though we love you, you're not helping me pay my bills. My kids are very hungry. And
They're
so
so hungry.
I finally looked it up. And what is very funny to me, something I didn't know, I could look at locations and I could see who listened to us the most and where that was. And so it's still Chicago. Chicago's number one.
Hell
LA's
yeah.
number two.
Hell yeah.
It,
Wait,
you know,
really?
yeah. Yeah. Chicago
That's
number one, LA number
great.
two. Yeah. So
Wow.
I was like, okay, that's great. That's great. But if you scroll to the bottom of the list, you can see all of the places that have one listener. And that was
love that.
way more interesting to me.
Yeah, let me hear.
So I read through the list, and there's some really, like, there's some cities I've never heard of. There's countries I've honestly never heard of that they
Okay,
were
well,
coming
that's
from.
not good, Grant. Don't say that.
What, there's countries I've never heard of?
Don't you live
I
near
don't know every
Epcot?
country. I know those countries. I know every country that's in Epcot.
Are there more
Boom.
countries than that?
Not in my book.
Thank
Not
you.
in my book.
Thank you.
And so as I looked at it, there were some that were all, again, one listener, and these are American cities. And I want to run through a few, and I kind of
Yeah.
want to roast them for you and for our listeners.
Oh shit.
Be-
Okay.
And what I think is funny about
the-
this is for one person. Like when I'm going to make fun of one city, but I'm making fun of one particular listener.
But-
Are you ready?
But shouldn't we be like happy they're listening?
Yeah, but this is also fun. It's funny to be mean. I've watched a lot of Drag Race recently, and I'm
Okay.
getting into that culture. And
Okay, sure.
for some reason, when I love something, I have to be mean to it now. I
Yeah.
guess the indoctrination's working. So here we go.
Groomer.
Are you ready? Number
Yeah.
one, Surprise, Arizona. I'm surprised anyone lives there. Laverne, Minnesota. Laverne, more like surely you know you can move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell, Nebraska. I didn't know livestock listened to podcasts.
Oh, Grant.
There aren't people there.
Right. No, I got that.
Dripping Springs, Texas. Gross.
I'm with you on that one.
That's a good one. Egg Harbor, New Jersey. I bet it smells great there. Both eggs and harbor, they both don't smell good
famously.
traditionally. Okay,
Yeah.
The Villages, Florida. Yeah, I guess old swingers like to listen to us during their orgies.
We have one listener in the Villages?
I guess, yeah. I
Oh,
really hope.
wow.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, by the way. Seriously, though, live your life, have those orgies. Lastly, Dillsburg,
dude,
Pennsylvania. That's a stupid name. Fuck you.
Okay. Now, listener in Dillsburg, I have to agree with my brother. Fuck you. That's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, Grant, I have to say, some of your bits, I can't get on board.
They're all
But
good.
wordplay, that was pretty fantastic.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah.
So you literally called me or texted me tonight and were like, "Can you get on and record?" And I was like,
I've already told that story.
Yeah, no, I know. And I was like, yeah. And I immediately was like, oh, I need an opening bit. So I went to the stats and I looked up these
Sometimes you can't think
names.
too hard about it. If you
I
have too
never
long
do.
to think about it, you ruin it.
I never think
So,
too
thank
hard
you.
about anything. But Drew, it did make me think though, Chicago and LA still number one,
Yeah.
vastly number one. Do you think we're approaching readiness to do a live show somewhere? Like in
No.
LA or Chicago?
No.
Why?
How many listeners do we have? Can you see how many?
I mean, I can see how many are audio only. It's several hundred in both of those places. Several hundred
Why don't
out
we wait?
of
Why don't we
out
wait just a
of
little? Okay, okay.
out out of a very small number of audio listeners in general. My guess would be that they make up a giant percentage of the people who listen just to the audio. My argument would be that the YouTube people, I bet there's a ton around LA and a ton around Chicago. In fact, you know what? Hey, would you guys like to hang out with us for a night? Do a live show? I bet you would. Prove my brother wrong and tell us in the comments who would come to an LA show or Chicago show. Who would? Put it in the
Okay,
comments.
okay, 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 okay. Listen
I
to
bet they
this.
would.
Listen to this.
I bet they would.
I think we could do an IMHO live show in LA and Chicago and have a Twinnuendo segment.
Two things.
I know you need
One,
positive feedback
shut
in
up.
real life.
Listen,
Okay.
two things. One, I would love to do that. I love IMHO. I think Alexis is funnier than both of us put together. You know that.
She does
Second,
look funny the way she's put together.
don't say that. She's done a lot of work on herself. She looks great. Those nipples, can't stop thinking about them. Second, I think you're selling us short, brother. I think Twinnuendo could go on the marquee.
Be a long marquee.
I think the Orpheum in Memphis would sell out.
Grant. Now wait.
Sell out.
I think what you've been saying has been frankly laughable. But
It's really
the
not.
Orpheum
People will
Memphis, I'm on board. Let's do it. Let's invite our
People will come.
entire high school and everyone we ever went to church with.
All right. Obviously, you're joking.
And then we
Again,
do baptisms.
have thought about getting reverse baptized recently. Like, what if I just rolled around a bunch of dirt and like got, like undid my baptism?
Oh my God, remember that scene in Thelma when she falls in the dirt? That is so heartbreaking. And I was driving past the place where she fell in the dirt, and I didn't remember that's where she fell in the dirt. And then I was at the stoplight, and I look over, and I go, oh my God, that's where Thelma fell in the dirt.
You're a good listener. Drew, I do want to say again for the record, I think people would come in LA and in Chicago, and I want people to put that in the comments to prove prove that my brother's an idiot. All right. And
Okay.
the second thing is,
I will only agree to do this show if people want to see it, if you say that Thelma is a fantastic movie.
I've said it a million times before, and I'll say
I know,
it again.
but I like hearing it.
Thelma is a fantastic movie. Thelma
my
was
God,
the
it's
best
so
part of coming to
fucking
LA.
Good.
Not you.
It's
not
on
Curtis.
Hulu now.
It's great. I watched it again
gonna watch
since I've
it
come
again.
home. Yeah, I need to watch it.
I've
a
watched
third
it
time.
4 times. So catch
well,
up.
Maybe watch something else. You mentioned inviting people from high school. Drew, I don't know why this is true, but I want to update everybody on this. In this past week, I have had so many people reach out from our high school and from our college that found
Where?
our podcast.
Reach out where?
Instagram. The gram. Bro, the gram. You know, where all the kids are hanging out. The gram.
Like they reach out to Twinnuendo or to you?
Both, but you don't check anything, so
Oh yeah.
it's me. Either way, it's me.
I wonder if I have messages. I'll find.
Hey,
I'll look at my
listener.
messages in a few weeks.
Listener, when you message Twinnuendo, it is always me. Now I don't have
And
to
when you-
sign him anymore. It's always
And when
me.
you message IMHO, it's Paola.
Yeah, Drew's too cool for everybody. But listen, so I know that there's a group chat about us from some former Choctaws down there in at MC. So just do you recognize any of these names? Megan Troshaset, that's who reached out to me. Do you remember her?
Yes.
Megan
I love
Troshaset, her new
She's
name
so funny.
Toch Toche Tachi Tucci.
And what a
Tutu.
beautiful wedding that was.
Oh, it was
a
so great.
gorgeous
We weren't
wedding.
invited, but we still went. Rainey Daniels, Amanda Wells, Mandy Jones Sisson.
Oh, I remember Amanda
Sisson?
Wells.
Sisson, Abby Munton, now Street, Abby Munton Street. Anyway, listen,
I remember all
we're
of
so
them.
glad you're here. I do want to warn you that we are leading you away from the Lord.
Can I tell
Even
y'all,
more.
Mississippi College people listening? Okay, I got hired to do the red carpet of this vampire rock opera opening in LA. It's real, it's
too.
normal, it's a regular job. So basically, I was just supposed to say stupid shit into a microphone at the people as they're getting their pictures taken. And Lance Bass was one of them. And listener,
him.
for those of you who don't know, Lance Bass from NSYNC is from Clinton, Mississippi, where Mississippi College is.
I didn't know that. Or maybe I knew that and forgot it. I didn't know
Grant,
Lance
he was
Bass
in
was funny.
Attaché. He was in Clinton High School's
Oh,
Attaché before
wow.
going to NSYNC. Yeah.
Oh,
Attaché prepared him for NSYNC. I want you to know.
oh,
Get really high one night and look up Attaché videos on YouTube. It is so fun. Anyway, so I'm thinking, oh my God, like I've been in the room with him before, but I've never talked to him. So I was like, this is my moment. I'm going to tell him that I went to MC and he's going to be like, oh my God, Clinton, that's crazy. So I did. I can't remember exactly what I said. It's on film somewhere. Hopefully I'll see it one day. But I said something about MC or whatever. Oh, I said,
oh,
I'm so happy we both made it out of Clinton, Mississippi. I went to MC and, whatever, like, look, and
oh
now we're both in
no.
LA, living the gay dream or something like that. And his response was this. Oh. Now, Lance Bass has never had much of a personality, and I'll admit that. So I think I was setting the bar too high. But I told you that I know where you grew up. Wouldn't that be
Right,
exciting? If someone came up to you and they were like, hey, I used to live in Germantown, I'd be like, oh my God, did you go to that Chili's?
right. It's
I
such a great Chili's.
anyway,
It's
MC
still a great
people, I
Chili's.
just want you to know if you ever meet Lance Bass, don't bring
Don't
it up.
mention it. Don't bring it up.
Don't bring it up.
Do not. If
Ugh.
you ever meet Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, who still lives in Clinton, bring it up because he still lives there.
Oh, I forgot about that guy. Yeah, that's funny.
Do you know about the legal troubles that his son just got into?
No, is it interesting?
Yes. Do you know Brett Favre has, the
Yeah,
quarterback?
yeah, I'm
So
aware.
he had a charity in Mississippi he was just
Oh,
laundering money out of.
yeah.
And so Ted DiBiase's son, Ted Jr., who we went to college with, who I knew at college, he was involved in it and bought a house and a boat and a truck with charity money. And now it looks like he's going to jail.
Oh no.
Ooh.
That's some Enron shit.
That's funny because you could have said WorldCom because that's in Clinton, another
Oh, I thought
Enron.
that was the right one. It wasn't?
WorldCom.
WorldCom was in Clinton.
Yeah, so everything's going great for the people of Clinton. It's going real good.
Yikes.
By the way, someone asked me the other day, who is a listener, viewer, watcher, lover of Twinnuendo, asked me if those were your real nails, and I went, no.
No, I actually, if I have nails on when we're recording Twinnuendo, it's only because I'm probably filming the next day. I was supposed to film tonight, so I put my nails on today, thinking. But anyway, no, they're not real. But they look great.
If I ever have nails on, it's because my daughter has finally let me wear them. Because I've
Oh
asked her, I
fuck,
was like, wouldn't it be fun if we both put your nails on? You could put some on dad. Because I want that, like, that memory that's
they're
on that, like,
expensive. She doesn't want to
that's
fuck around with
exactly
that.
what she said. That's exactly what she said. She was
She's
like,
not stupid.
no, dad, these are expensive. I was like, but we could, it's like a Folgers commercial or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm with my little girl and we're doing something
No, the
together.
Folgers commercial was a brother and sister that were
Just about
definitely
to
fucking.
fuck.
Yeah, they were
Ooh,
definitely
the
fucking.
energy on that. Oh, I don't drink coffee, but
Mississippi college
sometimes,
listeners, y'all know what we're talking about. Y'all know what we're talking
oh,
about. That
you
brother
know.
sister. Oh,
You
exciting.
know. Go
Two
ahead.
things. Number one, listener, you may recall that I have TCM on in the background when I edit now. Grant had mentioned that his favorite old movie is Arsenic and Old Lace, and I want you to know, Grant, I watched it this week.
Yes,
I
wonderful.
recorded it on TCM. I haven't watched it in forever. I used to have it on DVD. Okay.
Okay.
And I watched
I
it.
love
Oh
that
my
movie.
God, it's so good. It is such a fantastic play made into, it's very clearly a play made into a movie. Cary Grant is so hot. He's one of the hottest people who has ever lived. And the little chunky ant, the way she hops
One of the
around the
hottest
floor.
ants who's ever lived. I'll say
Oh, she's
that.
not bad looking, but God,
It's
what a
under
great
that
movie.
bonnet.
I just want you all to know, if you ever want to just
It's
like kind of put something
fantastic.
on a Sunday afternoon, fall asleep on the couch, Arsenic and Old Lace is great to do
Can I
that.
tell you when it's like a weekend, like a Sunday afternoon, and it's raining out?
Oh yeah.
Throw on
It happened
arsenic
one
and old
night.
lace.
No,
Oof,
throwing it happened one night.
that's even
Happened one
better.
night's it's a great rainy day watch.
Huh. All
Because
right.
it was while it was raining that they fucked. Do you remember that scene?
Oh, yeah. See, now I
They
wouldn't be
put
able to
up
take a nap.
they
I'd be
put up
so turned on.
They put up a blanket between them and they called it the Wall of Jericho. Then eventually when they fall in love, they blow the horn. Like she does she gave him a blowjob, but she's also like making and then the wall falls down.
Did she walk around it 7 times? Did she blow the horn 7 times?
Well, she was a girl.
She
She
hadn't read
can't
the
count.
Bible. Not allowed to read.
She can only
So,
count in
Drew,
recipes.
one of the things that I do regularly, this is not one of my classic bits, but one of the things I do regularly that I love is I listen to the voicemails.
Oh, sure.
And they're fantastic. So many people call in just to say nice things. And so I'll be
Why
honest,
don't you ever send me that?
you have access to it. Log
But
into
you know I'm
Google
not going
Voice.
to.
What? Okay. Sorry?
I'm
That's like
busy.
that's crazy. What you
You
said to
don't
me
have a
is
job.
crazy.
Get your shit together.
Okay. Hurtful. True.
True.
Hurtful. I'll be honest. There are days I have bad days where I absolutely go to that Google Voice and I'm like, am I making a difference in this world? And
Is
then I'm
that why
like,
you sent me
no.
that
People
super
laugh.
gay text the other day?
No, I was just wanted to express my gratitude to you.
Grant sent me this text out of
I'm
nowhere
gonna edit
saying
this
how
out, but
grateful
go
he
ahead and read
is.
it. Go ahead
How
and read it
grateful
out.
he is for Twinnuendo and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm the gay one.
Yeah, Drew's really
Anyway,
emotionally mature and good to talk to. Anyway, Drew,
I don't have room for it all the time, which is why I don't
here's
look at my messages.
yeah, that's the reason why. It's a healthy choice. Keep telling yourself that. As I looked at the voicemails, I was grateful for them, but Drew, we have to be honest. We've kind of left a lot of people on red here with these voicemails.
Uh-oh. That's my bad.
We haven't answered a lot of them. And so what I want to do this week, it's oops, all voicemails 2 twin edition.
Oops, we did it again. Oops, we did it again, Grant.
Let me redo that. Oops, we did it again. Voicemails 2 Batman Returns.
Back in the habit.
Back to the Future. I pulled some voicemails and I would love for people to please keep calling it and we will answer them more sometimes. And so if you don't know the voicemail number, it's 940 ASS Twin. 940 ASS TWIN. And I know there's some Gen Zers out there that are like, how do I make that into numbers?
Google it.
Chat GPT it. I don't know what to tell
Google's free. Google's
Google it.
free, you
And
little kid.
if you're international and you're like, but I can't call that, I'm international. Completely understand. Instead,
Google's free. Google Voice.
you could do Google Voice, that's free, or record a voice note and email it to us, twinnuendo@gmail.com. Twinnuendo@gmail.com.
Oh, do that.
Send us a voice note.
In your native tongue, please.
Please, in your native tongue. So, Drew, let me pull those up real quick. Okay, Drew, are you ready for our first voicemail?
No.
Here it goes.
Hi. Hello. So I'm Andrew. I've been
Andrew.
really loving the podcast. It definitely helped feel less alone with student things. So I love it, watching it every week.
Thank you, Andrew.
So
You're my
Thanks,
favorite
Andrew.
Drew.
something I grew up
Fuck
in the
you.
evangelical church as well. And one of the big things, even before dealing with the feelings of being gay, I am a disabled person. I was born with something called HLHS, which means that I was born with a half of a heart.
Oh
Very
my God.
Very
The
fun.
church, at least the church I grew up in, did not like that. We're not fans. And my entire childhood was kind of spent being used as the example, basically, of, hey, this disabled person is here because of how sinful humans are and the sins that he did or his parents did caused him to become disabled. And the good news, once you go to heaven, you're going to be perfectly fine. So you don't even have to worry about it. Your heart will turn into a full one, whatever.
No notes.
Which
That sounds great.
obviously gave some complicated feelings about me personally. But yeah, I was wondering if you have ever encountered that, what your church's feelings about disability was, and Did they take a better approach of it? Kind of what are the reasonings for this type of thing? Because I've heard it before. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Andrew, thank you.
Oh, thanks,
My favorite
Andrew.
Drew. And Drew,
Shut
you
up.
kind of have half a heart too, but it's more like emotional
Yeah,
and
I closed it off through
hateful.
trauma. Well, no, I mean, listen, I'm sorry. I did have a large response to hearing that you had half a heart. I think I said, "Oh my God." And it's not that I don't think I don't it's not that I don't think that's a valid heart to have. I'm just bummed that the half the heart that you got was gay. Like
Yeah.
truly, you must be
Yeah.
a strong soldier for God to give you all that.
Couldn't give you the straight half, huh? What do you remember about our church growing up attitude towards disability? Or do you remember anything at all? Because your shock over what he said would indicate that maybe you don't really remember how people view disability in the church.
I don't think I do, to be quite honest. I remember praying over people.
You do?
Yeah.
When? Like in like youth group or something?
Yeah. In that really
Oh,
long
interesting.
room where the
Mm-hmm.
windows were facing the columns of
Yep.
the front of the
Yep.
church. I remember
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And I remember people being used as examples, but no, I don't remember like specifically. So your turn.
Andrew's dead on with a lot of
Andrew's
people's take.
dead? Oh my
Yeah.
God. He just
Yeah.
keeps getting hit.
You know, it wasn't the heart, it was the gayness that killed him.
Yeah. Listen, and I've tried to warn him.
Just be careful out there,
In addition to only having
gays.
half a heart, he only has one ear, apparently.
Come on, Andrew. Well, not anymore. R.I.P. Andrew.
I'm
We
sorry,
love you.
keep going. I apologize.
So there are traditions of Christianity that believe that any type of disability is a result of specific sin or a curse of God. And they get that from the scriptures. There's this moment where Jesus encounters this blind beggar and he's about to heal him. And the disciples go, "Hey, why was he born blind? Is it his sin? Is it his mom's sin or his dad's sin?" Now, that's a shitty thing to think. But Jesus' response, equally shitty for two reasons. One, he doesn't say, "That's stupid." He doesn't address what they said. Like, he doesn't like say, "No, you're wrong," because about that, as if that idea is wrong. Instead, he says, "No, in this case." So the implication is what? Yeah, some people, that's why they're
Yeah.
blind, because they fucking sinned and they got to learn. I got to take their eyes
Dummies.
before I take their soul. Jesus said something equally as fucked up, which is he was born blind to display the power of God, and then he heals the guy. So what Jesus said was, he's a prop. He's blind, so
Oh, I
I can
love
show
that.
everybody what I can do. Think about that for a second. That's a grown ass man who spent his life as a beggar because Jesus was like, "I'm going to do something cool." So this kid was born blind. He lived his life as a blind person in a time where that's not easy to do.
No.
All so that Jesus would have a prop, a human prop to use to show the glory of God. So,
Okay, well then in that case, his church was doing just led by Jesus' example. So
I
I don't see
mean,
anything wrong.
that's the fucked up thing is you're not exactly wrong. Like, yeah. And the other thing is people will say it's a testing of faith, like to suffer at all is a testing of faith. I just think that that's insane. Do you remember the story of Abraham and Isaac?
Can't get enough of it. Love
I know you
it.
can't. I know you can't.
Is that the
Remember?
burning bush?
No.
Okay, wait. Was this the
Yeah.
one where God was like, "Hey, I love what you're doing. You're so
Mm-hmm.
iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind, sorry if this is silly, but would you mind killing your son for me?"
Yes. There's even more context here, which is God had
I think I got all
promised
the
him.
context. I think
Well,
I had all
God
the context.
God had promised him and his wife a child, and they were really old, and God hadn't fulfilled that promise yet.
Yes, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sorry, before that,
I
before they
love
had
old
Isaac,
bitches.
Abraham had raped Sarah's handmaid.
Okay, well, that sucks.
She had had a child, which is what Christians trace Islam back to. And he banished them. Like they
Jesus
had to
Christ.
leave him. Yeah, it was fucked up. So then God's like, "Hey, so I gave you this child. You happy with him?" He's like, "God, you know I am. Raping that other chick?
Love him.
Sorry about that." And God's like, "I don't
Super
even
not
care.
fun.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I don't do anything
Yeah.
about it. So don't you worry about
Yeah.
it." But he's like, "I know you love him. You love him, but do you love me?" go kill him. Go take him up on this mountain and fucking kill him. Now, the story goes
How
that God stopped him.
insecure do you have to be? Truly.
Right? Right?
He's the most
Yeah.
insecure
Do you love me?
God
Drew,
I've
do you love me?
ever heard
Drew, do you
of.
love me? Do you love me? Go tell Curtis you love me more than him. Drew, go tell Curtis.
Well,
Go.
you don't know what kind of day we had. That might be true
Go.
right now. You have no idea.
Oh, that's why he was texting me.
No, I'm just kidding. We had a great day.
So it's a testing of faith, or some people believe disability is demonic influence. So there's a
Sure.
there's a
Now
story in
that,
the scriptures.
I believe.
Now,
As a
now that
former
one
special ed teacher, I have to say
I can get behind.
I've got some stories.
That I could get behind. Drew, do you remember any experiences in the church where people talked about demons and demonic influence or any of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Do you remember any
okay.
specific?
I don't think what I remember this. The scariest thing in the world to me. Scary yet so horny
Oh.
was the demon in the Passion Play. I was always terrified of it. I thought it was so scary because they did the voice thing where they do multiple voices on top of one another when one person talks. That's scary. He was usually shirtless. And that I loved. And I think that explains my choice in men.
And I think that explains demons. Hey,
Oh,
everybody,
sure.
thanks for listening.
Oh my
So-
God, Grant. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Quickly,
No,
I just want
please.
to say, I love Korean dramas. It's like my biggest thing. And the Korean drama that I'm on right now, I have one episode left. I'm so sad. It's called The Judge from Hell. So this demon
I'm listening.
is a judge in hell. That's the basic premise.
Is it
And
Judge Judy in a Korean drama?
Okay, I have to say, Judge Judy, I know she's like right-wing MAGA crazy, which is so sad. But do we want her to be anything other than that?
What?
We love her
Other-
because she's kind of a clown.
I got you.
We want
I
her to
completely get what you're
suddenly
saying.
know how the world works. No thanks.
But you know what? It's the same thing as someone the other day who disagrees with my politics, who I like and I love very much, and we were having a very good conversation. They said something like, "You like hate Trump so much that you're not reasonable about it. Like you just hate him so much that it's like unreasonable." And I was like, "No, listen, I used to love that man." And they're like, "You did?" And I was like, "I watched every Celebrity Apprentice."
Yeah.
And I fucking loved
LaToya
it. And
Jackson.
and I said, you know why I loved it? Because he was a piece of shit. That's why I love the show. That's why people like the Jersey Shore. I love the Celebrity Apprentice because you could tell that he was this weak, insecure, narcissistic baby. And I fucking loved it because people would get in the boardroom and someone would fuck up a task really bad and you're like, they got to get fired. They fucked it up. This other team raised $1 billion for charity. The team that fucked up would come in and be like, but Mr. Trump, you're the most handsome, smartest man who's ever lived, and that guy thinks your hair looks stupid. And he'd be like, well, you're hired and you're fired. And that's what I loved. But then he became, so the same thing
why I
with
voted
Judge
for
Judy.
him.
You're right. I want her to be fucking crazy. But I also don't want her to be a politician. Please.
Which I gotta say, Grant sounds very much like the Christian God. Anyway, but I'm watching this show and it's called
Judge in
Judge from Hell. So she specifically judges murderers. So murderers come in and then she gives them their damnation, right? Unfortunately, she had a long day, as demons do.
What
One
are the
little sneaky
damnation
girl,
things they get? Like, what are some of the punishments they get? Are they different?
they go to like a really bad hell. Like they get 5 billion years in the
In
fires.
Dillsburg, Pennsylvania?
God, gotcha again, you fucking
Got you
idiot.
again, Dillsburg. Fuck you, Dillsburg.
I'm so sorry, Dillsburg listener.
We're
we do love
we're
you.
really glad you're here.
We
yeah,
just
we're
hate your
glad you're here.
town.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it sucks.
She not accidentally, she's a demon. She was like, fuck it. This girl wandered in. She went to fake hell. So it's a girl who didn't do a whole lot. Like she's gonna end up in heaven, but she needs to be scared a little. There's different levels. You know, you were a preacher.
Oh, you got to get scared
anyway,
straight is what you're talking about.
Thank
So it's
you.
gay.
And that
It's
works,
gay
by
hell.
the way. But
Scare 'em straight.
she wanders in and she's like, are you a murderer? And she's like, no. And she's like, well, fuck it. You're going to hell. So then her boss, Bael, who's a spider, is like, whoa, that was bad. She didn't kill anyone. That's so fucked up. So I'm putting you in her body on Earth. She happened to be a judge as well. I'm put you in her body. Now you have to kill 10 murderers in the next year. And if you don't kill 10
I
murderers,
love that.
it's so good.
I love
It's
that.
on
That whole
Hulu.
premise is fantastic.
Well, it's also, okay, you're making fun of me, but it's
I'm not.
also,
No, I'm being
oh, okay.
sincere.
It's
I
really
need
good.
look, sincere hat.
It's
That
on
sounds
Hulu.
great.
It's on Hulu. And the thing I like about it is they make fun of Christians a lot, which is really fun.
Oh,
And
I like that.
hell is a place where like people get their punishment when they do something bad, but the demons don't hope that you're doing something bad. Like they're not like, oh yeah, let's hope. All they want to do is hand out punishment. That's all they want to do.
They don't
And I
want to
have
work hard. And so they're like,
No!
please, we don't need too many people down
Work
here.
smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Anyway, I loved it. It is on Hulu, so unfortunately, even if you have commercial free, they built in commercial breaks, which aren't a thing in K dramas. But if you can get past that, it's worth a watch. And the guy's super hot.
Oh, well, now I'm in.
I know. Judge from Hell, now on Hulu.
Back to demonic
Disability.
influence. There's a moment where this dad brings his kid to Jesus to be healed, and the kid's epileptic. So the dad's like, hey, my
No
kid's
bright
having
lights.
these fainting spells. He keeps falling into the fire, but he doesn't say he's falling into the fire. He says there's spirits inside of him that are pulling him into the fire.
Okay, that's cunt.
We didn't know.
love it.
Hey, modern day Christians, we didn't know. We were stupid. Like 200 years ago, doctors were like, that looks bad. You should put some leeches on it. We didn't know. We were giving cocaine to children because we didn't know. So this is 2,000 years
like
ago.
some.
And they're like, it's got to be demons. Got to
Well,
fucking
that's
be
religion
demons.
in general. Religion was created because people didn't know how the world worked, and that was scary. And so they made all of this shit up so that the
we
world
s-
made sense to
Right.
them. And
Ex-
then,
you're 100%
for
right.
whatever reason, as we started to learn how it actually worked, we couldn't let go of the things that people made up when our brains were silly.
But we want to believe we keep doing it. I was at Target yesterday, brag, and I was checking out. I know.
Wait, I was
checking out.
too.
Were you?
Which
what
one?
time? Let's go at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
10:30 a.m. Pacific
1:30,
time,
12:30, 1:30
North Hollywood.
Eastern, South Hollyland. Okay, so I was at Target yesterday, and as I was checking out, I gauged the checkout person incorrectly. I thought that I could say, "Hey, how's your day going?" and I would get a fine. Keep going. No, she could not wait to tell me a story.
Well, that's on you.
She goes into the story about going to a cabin with her friends. She said it was in the Appalachia area, like the Appalachian
Sure.
Mountains or whatever. And
Very
so she
familiar.
said the area we were in has, and this is how before she tells me about it, she goes, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And anytime anyone asks me that, the answer is always, absolutely, I do. Because they're
Yeah.
going to keep talking. They're going to tell you an incredible story.
Especially if the person is scanning your groceries at the exact same time. Like,
Oh,
yes, I
yeah.
believe in ghosts. Keep going.
Yes. So she said there was this local legend about this specific tree that was actually a spirit, and it would follow you. You would see this tree, and it's very distinct. So she swears that everywhere she went, she saw this tree and she thought it was following her. So one night, she said, I went in the kitchen and I could hear claws almost on the roof, like scampering across the roof. And I think it was like the tree branches of this spirit. And I was just listening to her, just very, and she's really into it. And then I go, yeah, that sounds crazy. Like a raccoon? And she goes, what? And I go, it sounded like little claws scampering across the roof. And she said, yeah. And I said, like a raccoon? Do you think it was a raccoon? And she had her face went from to
Oh,
yeah.
Grant.
And she goes, yeah, it probably was a raccoon. Like, she had this real moment. And this story, how many times has she told this story? And I just fucking torpedoed it. And the minute all of like her face just, she just lost it all. And then I went, I'm just kidding. Raccoons aren't even in the Appalachian Mountains. I don't know if that's true. I
Yes,
just
they
wanted to give her
are.
her joy back. I know. I
Raccoons are
wanted to give her her joy back. There's no raccoons up there. I heard her on a podcast. And she goes, oh, Because it did sound like branches, like the spirit that was the tree. And I was like, yeah, I bet it was. Keep telling that
Grant,
story.
you almost
So
killed her
I gave it back
soul.
to her. I know, I gave it back
Okay.
to her though. But my point is, we want to believe that, but Christians stop doing that. And so, for people with disabilities in the church, I am so sorry for what you deal with because, again,
Oof.
it's your fault or people are dismissive. Hey, God's will, God's plan, His ways are higher than ours. Hey, Christ suffered and now you get to suffer. If anyone says that to you and you're disabled, stab them and tell them, Christ bled, now you bleed.
If disability was handed out because of your parents' sin, with our Father, who
Well,
art on earth still,
you got
we would
gay.
have no limbs. Oh, I did. Yeah, I guess I am
Like
gay.
severe gay. Like you got type 1 and type 2 gay for sure.
Don't they cancel each other out?
Nope. But if I
Hang
can
on,
just say
Grant.
one
I'm
thing to Andrew.
so sorry.
Yeah.
I want, you know what? This is perfect timing. I have to pee. So you tell Andrew what you're thinking, and I'm going to go piss
I
from my
could
wiener.
edit it, but okay, let's
Nope.
leave all this in.
I don't
Okay.
want Andrew I want Andrew to know that this is so serious that we're not even stopping for a bathroom break.
It's so serious you don't even want to
Here.
hear it. Go ahead.
No, I
Andrew.
have my AirPod in.
Okay, shut up, Drew. Go pee. Let me tell you something, Andrew. One, I'm sorry for my brother's bladder. It's really rude of him. I don't know why he would do this to you. He has no respect for people with disabilities. But also, I had someone in a former church who had a disability, and I was talking to them about that. And I was just asking them about what their experience was like. And I wanted to know what their experience was like within the church. They said something to me that I'll never forget that completely changed my view of people with disabilities within the church, specifically the time within the church, but now obviously everyone I encounter. They said, people treat my disability like it's a flaw. And they said, I don't see it that way, not anymore. I see it as a feature, not a bug, because all that I've been through has made me the person I am today. If I was abled like you, I wouldn't be the same person. And I don't know if I would even like that person. But this person is empathetic, and this person is somebody who loves people, wants to help people. This is who I am, and I want to be this person. And so it was just such a inspiring response, and it was so much better than anything anyone has ever said about disability in the
So
church that
much
I've ever
better
heard.
and so much better.
So, Andrew, I love you. You're great. I love your kindness. Like, you weren't even angry as you spoke. I think Drew was more angry than you were at your voicemail.
I just don't understand why you only have half a heart. I think that's so fucked up.
Yeah. Hey, man, get another half. What are you
Get
doing?
another half. What
Andrew,
are
get
you
another half.
doing, Andrew?
You know what? Forget everything we talked about. Get another half.
Get another half.
Get another half.
Pray for it.
All right, let's go
No,
to
that's
another one.
horrible.
It is. Okay.
But also kind of funny, Andrew. Thank you. Okay, Grant is looking for another voicemail. While he's doing that, I just want to make a public statement. This is my public statement.
I normally edit this out, but go ahead.
I did watch Junior Taskmaster. And I listen, I remembered that she wasn't British. That's what I remembered. So yes, she's from New Zealand, not Canada. I know those are different places. Okay, one of them, the toilets flush the other way, which is so funny. And I admit, after watching, she's a very good host for this show. I think
She's so
the
good.
she's the perfect amount of in charge, but also like I feel like the kids are really comfortable with her. I really enjoyed her. And I just want to apologize to Rose. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going to apologize for not liking her as a contestant. I did not care for her as a contestant, and that's
Well,
okay.
Rose, thank
but
you for
I do
listening.
love her
I think
as
you're
a
a great
host. I
contestant.
think she's an incredible host. She's
really
perfect for
good.
this.
She's really
and
good.
Mike is still one of the hottest men on the planet. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Bye.
I have got another voicemail. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Hi, Drew and Grant. My name is Max. I'm from the Massachusetts area.
Okay.
I also have the high honor of growing up in the church as a gay person. I was part of the church with my
Ew.
family until I came out when I turned 18 and finally kind of like moved away for college. But I'm calling because I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on gay men who decide to kind of suppress their homosexual tendencies and temptations, as they would call it, just to be accepted in the church. Specifically, there's like this one man in the church who was considered a mentor for the teen ministry that I was a part of, who I recently just found out dealt with these temptations by marrying a woman. For me, I just cannot really like comprehend this idea, and I have so many questions about what this dynamic is like between the two of them. I just can't ever imagine like suppressing that part of myself since I just love men so much, but that's just me.
Same.
So yeah, I was just curious about what your thoughts are on gay men marrying women just because God said so. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Max. Isn't that
That's so
great?
funny.
Isn't that so
Listen,
good?
we still to this day know of gay men married to women. Like we've all experienced. Okay, I'll speak from my experience. I'm gonna 12 step real quick.
From your first marriage.
From my first marriage, thank you. If I hadn't been so feminine, I could have seen myself marrying a woman just to stay in the world. I think a big reason I got out of it all when I did is because I was so feminine. Like there was I couldn't do it. We went to a school, private Southern Baptist college in Mississippi, so there were plenty of effeminate men dating women.
Yeah.
And I do see how simple, how quote unquote easy it would be to make that decision. And I don't think it would be that bad to be married to your best friend, your best girlfriend. I love women. I love women way more than I love men. And so like if it weren't for the sex thing, I'd love to be married to a woman. I love girls.
Well,
But I do feel
Drew,
terrible
the sex thing
for...
takes care of itself when you get married because you just stop having it.
Right? Am I right? Lesbian bed death. Am I right? No, my husband desires me fully and totally.
Cool.
I just feel bad for both. I really do. I feel bad for the girl. I feel bad for the boy. I feel bad for the families. It's just, it sucks. But there are certain people, and this isn't just true for closeted gay men, certain marriages, certain relationships are platonic in their own way. And some
That's
people
true.
do get married to their friend because they want to be married and they don't want to have sex. So if it works for them, great. I just can't imagine living your entire life with that guilt of I'm evil, I'm evil, I'm evil, I'm evil. Because I know that you thought that too, Max. I know you did.
I think that
was his
about
name,
Max
right?
now.
Mainly the guilt. I just feel sad for the guilt, but I completely get it.
Did you ever try to force a romantic relationship with a woman?
Yes, and I'm not gonna say her name or
Okay,
edit it out.
Hey, I'm gonna edit this out. You're talking
The
about
names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah. In college at MC, there was a very homely girl, a simple girl.
I was wondering
with
how
simple
you were gonna.
wishes.
I wonder how you're gonna
A simple
describe
girl.
her.
She was a simple girl with simple wishes. I honestly, I remember thinking she's a good mark. Like, she's a good beard because she wouldn't
Because
require a
she
lot
had
of
a
work.
little bit of one.
She did. She
She
was
had
very
a little
furry.
beard.
But I think listen, it gets cold. It gets colder in Mississippi than people
She
think.
was so nice. And
nice.
she was like this is video game talk. She was like an NPC. She was like a non-playable character. There was nothing remarkable about
Yeah.
her. But she
Yeah.
was there and she said
But
words.
she was there. She was available, and just having people ask me about her, because I had people asking like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" and blah blah blah. I felt so much better about myself in that scenario. As fucked up
Well,
as it
that's
sounds,
sad.
I know. So yeah, I would do it. If I'm not kidding. If I had been masculine, I don't know what would have happened. Similar to Andrew and only having half a heart. Okay, if he had a whole heart, he may not be gay right now. And if I had been masculine,
Well, that's true.
I may not be gay right now. You know?
Or when you replied to all those Mask for Masks postings, you would.
I was trying to get them to
been
teach
so
me how to
disappointed.
be masculine. How was I supposed to know that masculine is not contained in the sperm and should be applied directly to the face?
And Drew
Did
and
you
I
ever
both-
marry a couple knowing that he was gay?
That's a great question. I've done a lot of weddings. I think I was approaching triple digits.
That's
yeah,
too
I
many.
did a lot. And I hated weddings with all my heart.
Because you don't believe in true love.
Yeah. Angela doesn't listen to this, right? Like, I hated the mix of religion, and they were like, this is a holy and special and wonderful thing. And then everything was like, look at all
All
the
our
money we
dresses
can spend.
match.
And it's all me. And oh, don't you look so hot? My tits look great in this. And I was just like, what are we doing? So I hated them. I hated them so much. And there's so much pressure. Everything's got to be perfect. And I just fucking hated them.
they want everything to go right. And being the person who marries them, a lot of that's in your hands.
I don't think I ever married anyone like that I thought like, oh, are you gay? I did tell people like that I agreed to do their wedding. I always agreed with a caveat of like, we have to meet and talk. Like, I want to learn more about who you guys are and what you want out of life. And there were a handful of people that I turned down after talking to them. Like,
Why?
so a lot of reasons. One was like they were clearly not compatible. Like they were awful together. And their story of how they got together was just like, well, she was there. They wanted completely different things out of life. Like obvious stuff. Like he was like, I don't ever want kids. And she's like, he'll change. And I was like, all right, motherfucker,
I
you need
want
to
12.
yeah, you need to get away from that. Anyway, yeah, gay men marrying women, that's sad. Stop doing it. But thank you, Max. Right?
Oh, yeah. Thank you
Thank you,
for
Max.
not marrying a woman, Max.
Hey, well, we don't know he hasn't, but Max,
Oh,
don't.
well, then congrats.
Also,
Get all up in
congrats.
there, brother.
Yeah, let Drew know how it is. He still doesn't know.
I might one day. You don't know.
Drew, I don't know if this thing you're doing about wanting to lay with the fairer sex is all a joke or half a joke.
I'm the fairest sex. Look at my skin tone.
Let me say,
She's not
Let me
fair
say-
because she's got tits.
if you pull this off,
I think I could very easily pull it off. Look at me.
it's like the only time in our relationship I want details about your sex life. It's not the only time you've given me details about your sex life. It's the only
Grant,
time
that
I
is
want them.
such a mistake.
I want
Me
to
having
know.
sex with a woman would be the most boring sex I've had. I've had the weirdest fucking
No.
sexual
I know.
experiences.
Drew, I
Did
know.
I ever
know,
tell you
I
about
know.
that guy
No,
that
no,
wanted
no.
to pee directly into my butthole?
Did you? Did it happen?
Yes. Yes, it did.
And you married him. Hey, Curtis. Thanks for listening.
No, we still
Thanks
haven't
for
got.
listening,
That's it.
Curtis.
I'm saving
love
that for our
you.
20th anniversary.
Seriously, though, I will need to know if that ever happens. Okay.
Gross.
I want to be there, not in the room. I want to be outside the room, encouraging
checking
you.
IDs. Thank
Hey,
you.
hey, buddy. How's it going? Feeling
man,
good?
It's really warm in here. Oh, gee. I think I'm
man.
starting to like it here.
It's uncanny how much we sound alike in those moments. Here is the last voicemail. And away we go.
Hi, Darby and Grant. If you heard my last voicemail, please read it.
I did.
I didn't.
The reason I'm calling you two specifically is there's such an interesting dichotomy about Christianity and growing up in the church that I want to talk to you about. I grew up in Orlando, Florida, experienced
Ew.
a ton of religious trauma, conversion therapy, etc. Left the church when I was about 15 and have never looked back.
Quitter. What a quitter.
I moved to Los Angeles. I lived in California for about
Boo.
6 years and
Hell
lived in
yeah.
the liberal kind of, I want to say atheist bubble that I got so used to it. And during the pandemic, I unfortunately had to move back. I've been living back in Florida for about 2 years now, and
Welcome back,
need some
brother.
advice on how to deal with the Christianity that's everywhere. And like I said, I was really lucky living in California. I lived in Seattle, and so I've been in these kind of queer liberal bubbles, and now I'm in a space where Christianity is in my face at all times, every day. My boss, my coworkers, my just every day. There's something about Jesus and the church and
Amen.
Christianity that
Amen.
is so overwhelming in the South that I'm sure you guys fucking know, Tennessee. And Grant, being in Orlando, I have a lot of anger that I would love to figure out how to channel somewhere other than being pissed off at Christians for saying Jesus shit at me all the time. Thanks for the advice.
All right.
Oh.
That was, oh shit. What was his name?
It
Hang
just
on.
says, if you heard my last voicemail.
323. Oh, let's see if he says it in his last one.
Did you delete it?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't ever say it.
No.
All right, we
Well,
have to
he's
name him.
embarrassed. He had to go back to Florida. That sucks. That's embarrassing.
No, it's not. Shut up.
Wow.
Like, all right, we have to name him.
Well, it's obviously Flo Rida.
Flo Rida, thanks for calling. For real,
Thank you so
thanks
much.
for calling.
Love your work.
Drew, do you have advice on what to do? He's surrounded by Christians. What does he do?
I have to say we have to get prayer back in schools. As I was listening to the voicemail, like my heart broke for you because I completely understand being gay in that world and finally leaving and being in a more liberal space. Dude, I can't be of help to you with this because I too have the same kind of anger towards Christians. I'm just protected from it because I live out here. But honestly, like starting this podcast has really fucked me up in certain ways. And as much as it's helped my brother, it's kind of turned my world upside down.
All
And
right.
no, I've been having to
Bonus.
confront. Well, I've been having to confront all of these Christian related traumas that I hadn't really dealt with or I hadn't really talked about outside of therapy. And so it's just like opening a lot of old wounds, which I get, dude. Like I have the exact same response of like, yeah, I have to say right now, if I had to pick, how do you feel about Christians in general? I would say they suck. They suck.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I
heat.
would.
It's a lot
I
of
know.
heat coming off of you right there.
But no, I don't know. I don't know how you deal with it. Grant, you live in that hellscape.
I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I can help. Let me tell you, Flo Rida, I think I know exactly what you need. I was a Christian. I was there for a long time.
What?
I don't know if Drew ever was. I was the real deal. I was the shit. I was Jesus' little favorite little boy. Jesus' favorite little boy. And now I'm still here. I'm not on that team, but I'm surrounded by them. Got them all over the place. Here's what you do. Some crazy Christian comes at you. You just got to out-Christian them a little bit, okay? Because there's nothing Christians hate more than other Christians that are different
Oh
than
yeah,
them.
you got to stone them.
Oh, okay. Nope, back off. Hang on.
Oh.
Violence isn't the answer yet. So if they come up to you and they're like, hey, do you follow Jesus? Yeah. And sometimes he follows me. Oh, there he is again. Do you see him? I can see. Do you see him? That little scamp. There he goes. Oh, he just ran off. I'll see you later, Jesus. You just got to out Jesus him.
Yeah.
You know Jesus
Yeah.
better. He talks to you. You see him. Go harder in the paint than they are.
I like that. I have to say, it's giving woman alone in a parking garage where if you feel threatened, you just got to act really crazy. Just pull your
Gotta go
pants down
crazy.
and shit. And I feel like
Oh,
in
do that. Do that.
Yeah.
If a
pull your
Christian
pants down
talks to
and
you,
shit.
pull your pants down and shit.
And then draw an ichthus in your poo poo.
You draw half
I
an
mean-
ichthus, see if they'll draw the other half.
Listen,
Google
this
ichthus.
is I know I'm coming from a very privileged place. I don't have any money, but I don't have to live in Florida. So I know that like
I
it probably
live
doesn't
for
sound
a-
great
I
coming from
live.
me, but
Asshole.
as long as you find your own community and just deal with them when you have to deal with them. Don't give them the ability to live in your head. The anger that you're feeling, that's because like they are alive in your head. You're allowing their words to permeate your space and like let them keep their bullshit to themselves. If they
They're just
start to say
silly.
Jesus,
Yeah,
use
they're
your
silly.
use your shield of what's it called?
Faith. Shield of faith.
Use your shield of faith to ricochet right back off and hit them
Yeah.
in their helmet of righteousness.
They're just silly. And I mean, if someone's threatening you, that's different. But if they're just being silly, Christians, let them be silly, and
silly.
treat them like they're silly. And I
Treat
mean,
them like toddlers.
find out, you
Oh,
know
really?
what? Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Also, Christians hate stuff. They love to hate. They love to hate things. Find out what they hate and just get them going, rile them up. So if they're like you know what this is it. Someone at work says something about Jesus. Say this. Hey, so we can't say Merry Christmas anymore? Hey, I'm sorry. I thought it was America. Anybody? Are we gonna keep Christ in Christmas or what? They'll love you. Oh my gosh, they'll love you. They're not going to invite you to church
Yeah.
because they're going to think you're a pastor. They're going to be like, well, that guy's the wisest human
he's
being who's ever lived.
Clearly leading a church. Yeah.
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 So find
No,
out
I
the
love
stuff
that.
they hate and just bait them with it, and
Yeah.
they'll love you and they'll leave you alone.
So you heard
They'll leave you alone.
you heard trans people they're going into the wrong bathrooms and they're
Did you hear about
threatening our
this?
children. Did you hear that?
So
Did
we
you hear that?
gotta have litter boxes in the high
Yeah,
schools now.
suddenly we have to do litter
We gotta
boxes.
have litter boxes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought it was
So
America.
boys have to see a tampon? You want a boy to see a tampon?
You want boys to have tampons? Well, I'm sorry. I thought it was America.
I
They'll
thought it was-
they'll
you
love
sounded
you.
just like Joe Biden.
No joke, Jack.
I want to know what your name is, mystery caller.
It's Flo
Because
Rida.
oh, of course. But I would love to know your legal name because I want to let all of my Christian friends in Florida know that you're down to hang out for a little bit.
Can
Chat.
I tell you a real conversation I had with my oldest today? Me and him were doing our little cookie delivery thing. While we were out, different beliefs came up. We were talking about church and we don't go anymore and Christian beliefs and all these things. He asked me, oh, can you get her? Sorry,
Who is that?
that was Reba.
Your
So,
dogs bark?
well, Jude has friends over spending the night, and we won't let her around them because she gets real nervous.
Are sleepovers annoying as a parent?
Not at this age.
Because they just take care of themselves.
They do whatever they want. Yeah, like
Okay.
this is the first time they've been in the house. Like they got on scooters and like rode around. They were in like different neighborhoods. They went to Walgreens. They were all over the place.
What?
Yeah, they ride all
He's
over the place.
12.
Yeah, he has a cell phone. I know where he is.
Oh, Grant, not in Florida. Do you not listen to true crime podcasts?
We're fine.
Oh
All right,
my
listen.
God.
Let me go back. So, real conversation I had with Max. We were out doing the deliveries, and we were talking about like faith and talking about leaving the church and beliefs that I no longer have. And Max asked me basically like if someone I'm talking to has one of these beliefs, and I literally said, "You treat them like you're talking to someone who believes in Santa Claus." Like, if someone believed in Santa Claus, would you tell them there is no Santa Claus? No.
Well,
it's
you
rude.
might. You might.
I
You
do.
did tell
I
the woman
love
at
it.
Target that ghosts don't exist.
I
and
love.
her
I
life
brought
has
it back.
changed
I brought
forever.
it back. I brought it
Okay.
back. She does believe.
I'm just
there
saying, but
exists.
you did
I also
initially do
I
that.
waited for her to come out of work, and I had tree limbs, and I was just scratching her car. It's
Okay.
yeah.
You didn't
She's
tell me
fine.
that part, and you did go
I
above
didn't.
and beyond.
I
Thank
didn't.
you.
But I said just treat them like they believe in Santa Claus. You wouldn't tell them they're wrong, and you wouldn't make fun of them. You'd be like, "Good for you." Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Santa is gonna come. So yeah, treat your coworkers that way. You know
Because
what?
you're not going to change their mind. You're not
No.
going to they're not going to suddenly question their entire life in this cult because you said something at work. Like, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I love the idea of, oh, okay. Like, act almost too excited about what they're saying so that they start to doubt themselves. Like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool. I know if that were
I love
to
it.
happen to me, I would immediately kill myself and then the person talking. But yeah, treat them like fucking idiots.
And
'Cause they are.
again, we can't keep Christ in Christmas. We're taking Christ out of Christmas now.
Yeah, I love that.
You'll
That's
be
a
their
good one.
hero. You'll be
That's a
their
good one.
hero.
Now,
Well,
I
dude,
know we
that's
said
it.
this was going to be a voicemail episode, but this is Twinnuendo, so we were only able to do 3 because we had to talk about everything else. But we will continue to listen to them on
Yeah.
occasion.
I actually do.
thank
I
you.
listen to all of them, and I'm super
I
grateful.
think that's great. I'm glad
I've
that you do.
I've actually texted some of them because their voicemails were so nice, and so I've just shot them a quick text saying thank you for the voicemail.
Oh,
It
through
meant a
Google
lot.
Voice?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. If you want
Yeah.
a text from Grant, call the voicemail and say, "Text me, Daddy."
Sorry,
Oh.
now we got to redo it because Reba just lost her mind.
No, we don't. People need to know that this is what life is. Life is like that.
My dog Reba McIntyre, she's a single mom, works 2 jobs. She loves her kids and never stops. She's got
She never
gentle hands,
stops.
but the heart of a fighter. She's a survivor. And anyway, we've got one of my sons is having a sleepover, and she just really wants to go murder them all. So sorry about that, everybody.
She's desperate to be around 12-year-old boys. Okay, so you have a predator living with you. Neat.
Technically, she's 4 years old, but yeah, okay.
4 times 7 is 28.
Well, we don't
Anyway.
do math here in Florida. You should know that.
Oh, that's true.
Math's of the devil.
Okay, well, that was another episode. Thank you. First of all, I just want to say, Grant, thank you for jumping on last minute to do this. I appreciate it.
No
I've
problem.
got so much filming to do,
There's patrons'
So I
names
appreciate
over your face right now. I just want to let you know.
Oh, cool,
I'm
cool.
definitely going to edit them right there. So thank you, everybody, for that. Also, Drew and I just recorded a Twin 10 interview this week. And
that was fun.
It was so much fun. We talked way too long, so we're gonna chop it up.
Well, you and Beth talked way too long. I just kind of sat there, but I enjoyed listening.
That'll be coming out soon. I recorded a couple more Bible corners, or editing those. My wife, Angela.
Okay, there we go.
We're gonna record a little intro. I'd like you guys to meet her, and so we're gonna put that on Patreon. Just learn a little bit more about
Oh, I would
Angela.
love to see that. I'd love to meet her. I've heard such good
So
things.
I don't know if we're ready for that yet. We've been married.
You think she'll
18
get too
years.
turned on? She's like, "Oh,
Maybe a
there's
few
2
more.
of you. Oh man,
Yeah,
wow, that's so good." We don't have time to get into this now.
perfect.
There is a set of identical twins called the Peters twins. They're boys. They're from the Czech Republic, and they did gay porn for a while with each other.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll
why?
start that. We'll talk about that next time. All right. Thank you for listening,
Oh,
everyone.
no.
Bye.
Oh, no.